In this exciting video, you're going to watch a grown man fall asleep. Hey guys, Brian Davis here with Copper Star Kayak. So today I want to share something with you that is very, very important to me, and that is getting a good night's rest. To me, a good night's sleep really makes or breaks my trip. And so I've spent a lot of time and tried a lot of different things to make sure that I can sleep well. Now, we're not going to cover sleeping bags. That's a whole other topic. But today what we're going to talk about is sleep systems. So things that you're actually sleeping on. I'm going to cover 4 different things that I've used and share with you pros and cons of each. And hopefully this information will help you to make some good choices on your trip and make sure that you too can also get a really good night's rest. So first, let's talk about COTS. So COTS come in a lot of different sizes, and I've tried a few different sizes. To break down the pros for you, I think that they're very comfortable. I think that I found very easy to set up. They're also very affordable. I mean, I have a couple of different cots that I use, and both of them were definitely under $50, and I think one was even as low as $30. The other thing that I really like about them is since they sit up off the ground, you can store your gear underneath them, which makes keeping clutter and other things out of your campsite really great. So cons of cots, they are very bulky and they are pretty heavy. And so if you're backpacking, it certainly isn't an option. If you're kayak camping, you can definitely make them work, but just be prepared that they are going to take up some space and be kind of heavy. But I've took them kayak camping before, and I think that they're a great option even for that. So second on my list is hammocks. Now, hammocks are an interesting one. There is like a whole cult following of people who enjoy camping in a hammock. And the allure of it is very understandable. There's something very fun and charming about having a hammock set up at your campsite. It kind of brings some really cool creature comforts out there with you, which are important to having fun as well. So some things that I like about hammock camping hammock camping is the hammocks are very compact, and so that makes transporting them very easy. They can also be very comfy. A lot of people, like I said, really like the camping hammocks. Like cots, you're up off the ground, and so that's a really good pro. The other thing about them is, for the most part, they replace a tent. And so that really takes down a lot of extra waste or extra gear and weight that you would be bringing with you. And like I said, they can also be really fun to have around the campsite. Some cons, okay, so for me, I'm a side sleeper. And so I have tried hammocks a few times, and I'm still trying to figure out the most comfortable way to sleep in them. But for me, they're not very comfortable from that perspective. They are a bit more expensive than cots. So your hammock, a mosquito net, rain fly, once you add all of that up, you can get $100 or more than $100. And surprisingly, they're sort of heavy. I was surprised with the hammock and the mosquito net and the tarp and the straps and everything that comes with it, actually how heavy the hammocks can be. So moving on to number 3, sleeping pads. So sleeping pads come in a couple of different forms. The most typical ones that you'll find are the self-inflating ones, which is a sleeping pad that has like a thing of foam inside of it. And then the other ones are the air inflatable ones. Now I have an air inflatable one. Now let me talk to you about pros, because I was blown away at how comfortable the sleeping pad can be. They're also very lightweight. I mean, it doesn't really get any more lightweight than this. They're incredibly compact. I mean, I could practically fit this thing in my pocket. Another pro about the sleeping pads is they're very inexpensive. This one I think was right around $40. So for cons on the sleeping pad, honestly, I really don't have too many. I mean, there's some things that are kind of obvious, that it is a thin sleeping pad. The other thing is that it is a little narrow. But honestly, I really love these things. They're so small and so compact. It's kind of a no-brainer to just throw one in your bag. Now, this is going to sound very spoiled, but I love the air pad on the cot. And that to me has been the most comfortable setup that I've had. And so, I would recommend that to you as well. Take your cot if you can. Throw that air pad in your pack. You're really not even going to notice it. So the next thing I want to share with you are air mattresses. Now, these kind of don't really need any introduction. Everybody's familiar with the air mattress. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, I hate these things. I absolutely hate them. So my pros and cons lists are gonna be pretty heavily weighted towards cons. But first, let me share with you pros. And as far as I'm concerned, there's really only one, and that is they're cheap. And I mean that dollar-wise. They are very inexpensive, and I think that's why it's so attractive for people, especially if they're first-time campers, to run out there and buy an inflatable air mattress. But cons, I mean, I don't even know where to begin. First off, you need some kind of an air pump system, whether it's a foot pump, which is incredibly exhausting, or a car pump, which, you know, if you're kayak camping, that's not really an option. They're really heavy and bulky and kind of clumsy to sort of carry around. They're very cheaply made. Even nice ones are still, you know, pretty cheap and susceptible to pops. And that's kind of my next con, is that you can get a hole when you're out camping, and that can be very difficult to deal with. There's always air loss in the middle of the night. You inflate it firm at the beginning of the night, and by the morning you're in this like air mattress taco thing, which is not comfortable at all. They take a lot of time to set up and take down, and honestly, I could keep going here, but oh man, I hate air mattresses. I really do. I don't know who made those things, but whew. Well, listen, hopefully something I shared with you today was helpful. If you have any questions that I can answer for you, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.